Each Monday of this month, we are going along as our Colleen Marshall journeys through her family tree.
And you talk about starting from ground zero. All she was told is that Ancestry.com had a surprise in store for her.
Right, and I knew that they were going to be taking me someplace, meeting me someplace. So who do you think you are? Alex Haley, the author of Roots, said, "In all of us there is a hunger marrow deep to know our heritage, to know who we are and where we came from." I watched as the experts from Ancestry.com took my friend Jim to Virginia, where his great-grandfather was a Civil War hero. So I wondered what they had in store for me, where my journey would take me. As it turns out, it took me back to where my journey began.
Rolling hills, peaks, and summits. My hometown, Dunbar, Pennsylvania, is nestled at the base of the Dunbar Mountains, part of the Laurel Mountain chain, and now home to fishing, hunting, bike trails, and little else. Dunbar today is a quiet town, a bedroom community. There's no manufacturing here. There's no more mining. Some people call it a town of memories. But for those who can remember, oh, what a town it was. First settled in the late 1700s, for the next century it grew. And by the late 1800s, it was a boom town. It was fueled by coal and the immigrants who flocked here. Irish, like my family, English, Italians, Eastern Europeans, looking for a new life and willing to risk their own going deep beneath these mountains. They were mining that black gold, coal. It was then fired in beehive ovens.
They turned the coal into coke by burning coal in these coke ovens. And then the coke was taken to Pittsburgh to use in the to making of steel.
If Pittsburgh was the steel city, Dunbar in tiny Fayette County was Coke Town.
There were 48,000 coke ovens in Fayette County.
Wow.
Now that was in 1910, so there was more than that.
Now home to about 1,000 people, at the turn of the last century, it was home to nearly 20,000.
This boomed at one time, but like all other towns, and especially western Pennsylvania, you know, they've kind of died out.
My mother, born Betty Cooper, has roots here that run deep. I'd heard her family settled in these hills at least 3 generations ago. Her parents, Charles Cooper and Lillian Landman. My grandfather's parents were Robert Cooper and Virtue Biddle, both born here in Dunbar. My grandmother, Lillian, was one of 15 children born in Dunbar to Henry Landman and Mary Ellen Zebley. With the help of Ancestry.com, my brother and I have now been able to trace Mary Ellen's family to the mid-1600s in Switzerland. It appears as if they were part of the mass migration in the 1700s, engineered by none other than William Penn himself. After being granted control of land that now bears his name, Penn went on recruiting trips, trying to lure seasoned workers to Pennsylvania to help usher in America's Industrial Revolution. My mother's ancestors, Coopers, Landmans, Zebleys, Sullivans, a mix of Dutch and Irish, who came to what William Penn called the Promised Land. They came here to dig deep into that Promised Land.
And he's working, not surprisingly, I'm sure, as you'd guess, as a coal miner.
Yes. I kind of expected that.
I thought that might not be a big surprising revelation.
When Anastasia from Ancestry.com wanted to meet me in Dunbar with a mysterious revelation, I figured it had to involve mining.
I will die with my head held high, for I fought for the men below.
Were my ancestors among the huddled masses trading poverty or prejudice for hope and opportunity? Did my family support the Molly Maguires, the Irish miners who were hanged as anarchists in Pennsylvania for fighting for unions and mine safety? These were the tales I imagined. I assumed Anastasia would bring with her some forgotten secret from my mother's family. I could not have been more wrong.
No, I am convinced that my father never knew this, that he never knew. I don't think any of them knew.
It was a tale about my father's family, an immigrant's tale buried long and deep, and it could not have a happy ending.
I can't believe that made me cry. It happened like 100 years ago. It's really upsetting. And next week at this time, I'll share the next phase of this story. It's a tragic tale that led me to understand that I am not who I thought I was. A secret tale uncovered by Ancestry.com that no one alive in my family today ever knew. Many of the pictures you saw here today, by the way, came from a book put together by the Dunbar Historical Society. They've been a big help in all of these stories, and if you're interested in that part of the country or in mining or those beehive coke ovens, we have a link to Dunbar Historical Society on our website. Just go and search the word Dunbar. So next week we move into, it did have me crying, the story that we, yes.
So neat. We saw it with Jim, and now we're going to get to walk with you. It's going to be, wait.
Okay.
Right. Thanks, Colleen.
Thanks, Colleen. So who do you think you are? You can find out with Ancestry.com. We are giving away 4 World Explorer annual memberships to Ancestry.com. That's a $299 value. You can register to win at NBC4i.com. Search Ancestry, and then we will announce the winners on May 22nd. I think that's the neatest thing we've ever given away.
I think so, too. Let's bring Jim into the conversation. We know how impressive this was for you, too.
Colleen, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear about it next week.
Can't wait. Meantime, you're busy, too. You got a lot going on out there.
We do, but I don't think at this time the severe storms people are actually going to issue any sort of a watch, because these are what we call